everything to be recorded. I didn't want you to leave.
Oh, no, it's fine.
But yeah, it is amazing though that a lot of people don't know a lot about firearms. So that's why I wanted him to.
I think the fact that they don't know, they don't readily know somebody that can teach them, scares them, and they don't buy one.
Right.
Or they go out and buy something that a salesman pushed on them, and it's the wrong gun for the person, you know.
I agree. The last video I did, I was telling people to stop being so eager to co-sign off on firearm.
Right.
And actually run rounds through the firearm, train with it, and see what you like about it and what you don't like. So that way you can know, like for instance, I'm a left-handed person.
I am too.
So by me being a lefty, over the years of shooting, I started to learn. Gotcha.
I'm a lefty too.
So I started to learn the things I don't like, and for one is as simple as the controls on the firearm.
Well, for years, I mean, SIG makes an excellent gun. I sold a lot of SIGs. And they're well made and they're good pistols. Problem is, up until a few years ago, SIG did not consider the left-handed person their market. There was no way to modify a SIG to put ambi safeties or anything like that. And so I just didn't buy them. I'd shoot them, but I wouldn't own one. Now I've got a couple of them. But,
me as well.
Because they make a great weapon.
Yeah, and that's one thing I noticed about this one. It's not full ambi, but as far as the safety selectors and the mag release, it is.
Yeah.
I wish the slide release on the 226 was ambi, but on my P320, the slide release is ambi.
Yeah, the new ones like the 320 that came out, that it's really. A left-handed person can use it just as well as a right-handed person.
Right. And like you say, I think a lot of manufacturers don't realize the importance of the left-hand market. I mean, we spend money too. We like firearms too, so you know.
And we're willing. The funny thing is, we're willing to spend more money than a right-handed person, and they should realize that and cater to us a little more.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because the gun I'm wearing now is it's a Rock Island 1911.
Okay.
And it shoots, I don't know if you've ever heard of the 22 TCM.
I have.
It's like the 5.7.
Okay, gotcha.
So that little bullet in this gun is going at about 1,800 feet per second. So it's moving. And the first thing I did, my friend died and he left it to me. The first thing I did was order ambi safeties to put on it because it didn't have them.
And the grip module already came for the ambi safety module?
The grip mods are pretty much a 1911, and I just grew up just dropping the mag with my index finger.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So, actually, I have a true left-handed 1911. I have a Randall's.
They're hard to find.
They are. I got 6 of them.
Oh, wow.
And the problem is, they put the mag release on the other side.
Okay.
And it screws me up because I grew up just tapping them with my
index finger.
I'm so used to. My brain is modifying that gun, and now that they actually make it for me, I forget where all the stuff is. So, but it goes back to whatever you're going to shoot, learn how to use it.
For sure.
So in emergency, you don't have to think about it. It's pretty much
It's accessible. Yeah.
And you've got a good selection of guns here today to do your video on.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I just wanted to kind of give them an array of options in different calibers as well, because this is one of my everyday carries.
What is that, a 9?
The CZ P07.
Yeah,
I like it for under $400-500. I think it's a great firearm.
Well, my carry is always a $500 gun.
For sure.
Because if you use it,
you don't want to give the police
you don't want to give a police a $2,000 pistol. Because, unfortunately, it may not come back.
For sure. That is why I never plan on using my staccato in a self-defense unless I absolutely have to. And I got the FN 502 because I feel like everyone should have a 22 in their collection. It's good for planking. The ammo is cheap, accessible.
Well, and some women would like a 22 to start out with.
For sure.
I trained when I was teaching women to shoot. Matter of fact, did it recently. I use a 22 with a suppressor on it.
Okay.
Because most people, especially women, they're afraid of the recoil and the sound.
Right.
You use a 22, there's almost no recoil, and you put a suppressor on it, and use subsonic ammo, there's no sound.
It's almost movie quiet.
Yeah. So now you can get people to concentrate on sight control and trigger control.
For sure.
And then once they get used to that, that transitions into any gun they use.
I agree. And then I brought out the 38 because it's my grandfather. He passed it on to me like your friend did when he died. I got that.
That's a nice 38 too.
Yeah, I was thinking about.
Is that a Model 15?
But I hadn't messed with it. It's a Chartered Arms.
Is it a Model 15? It's 38?
Chartered Arms.
Oh, Chartered Arms.
Yeah.
That's a good little gun.
Yeah, so my grandfather always kept it in his back pocket. He wore, he got so old and started cracking to where he put tape around it, and I was wondering should I modify it or do something to it, but a lot of people told me just leave it the way it was for the nostalgia of it.
Yeah. And
I never shot it, so today will be my first time shooting it.
Yeah, those are old style grips.
I brought out the FN 45. I like that 45 a lot because of the capacity. I'm a capacity whore for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's a double stack.
Double stack, and I felt like I got the best of both worlds. Even though it's, you know, more power than a 9, I could still have the capacity of a 9mm. And then, of course, I got to see the 226 in the staccato. So I felt like I had a pretty decent selection to talk about today.
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's about how people, in my experience, that's what people own. I think most people own a revolver or two, but most people nowadays, all their guns, the majority of their pistols are semi-automatics, not revolvers.
For sure. And I think that you get more versatility out of having a hammer fire firearm. And that's what I'm going to be going into on the depths of kind of like the difference between the single action and the double action, trigger pull, things of that nature. And I just want to expand people's mind to think, like you say, when they're buying firearms, what to look for
and what's the use of it too.
For sure.
Because what I leave at home and what I carry are two different things.
For sure.
And with the rapidly expanding market of gun owners being women, you kind of have to think what fits a woman's hand, because they think different than we do when they start out.
That's right. That's true.
You don't have a single action laying there though.
I actually do.
Oh, where?
Yeah. So it's funny you said that.
Yeah, it'll work. It'll work that way.
Because if you notice, with the slide dropped on this one, if you pull the trigger, the hammer won't go back.
Yeah, it's got a it's got a disconnect.
Right. Versus this one.
Yeah. The old Smith & Wesson 59 did the same thing. And it was real popular with police officers because if they were got in a tussle with somebody over their gun, if they drop their mag, even if there's a round in the chamber, they can't make it fire.
They can't. And this one is actually single action.
Yep.
Because it won't
do anything.
It won't go back. So that's why I was gonna start the video by saying, you know, even though all of them are hammer fire, it's a difference. So I'm glad you was here for me to exercise that, you know, and show them kind of to make them understand what's a single action and what's a double action. Because do you know, until recently, from working at a gun store, I didn't even know. I assumed that if it was a hammer fire, all of them were double action. And a guy made it simple for me. He was like, okay, this is a hammer fire. And he was like, I want you to drop the hammer. And I started pulling, and I was like, okay. And then he gave me another one, like so, and he was like, this one has a hammer on it too. He was like, now pull the trigger. And I was like, okay, the hammer is not, he was like, exactly, that's the difference.
Yeah, those are usually single doubles is what I call them. The first round is a double action, and after that it's a single action, which some people may not like because the first one's a heavier pull, and then every one after that is a lighter.
It's a lighter pull, yeah.
So I have a couple double singles. I never pull on the double. I cock it on the way up,
right? Because
I'm used to that. I want that single pull.
And you want that lighter pull.
I want lighter pull every time.
Now let me ask you this: being an experienced shooter, do you feel like single actions give you more accuracy the further out that you go? Is that for long? Is that better for long distance, or how do you feel?
No, I think you can do equally well with single or double, but it's a trigger control training issue. If you're used to a double, you can shoot just as far as accurately with a single. What I don't like is when they combine them single double, because I'm pulling harder on that first one.
Okay.
And anytime, for me, just me, not everybody, but me, I feel like I'm moving the gun more pulling on a double, whereas on a single it's a lighter pull. And
So I was going to say, do you
barrel.
feel like it's more of the anticipation of the trigger pull that makes you?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Now, to be honest with you, most of my guns have trigger jobs on them anyway. So,
Gotcha.
So I have them tuned for me.
Right, right.
But the average gun that I carry has no mods on it.
Okay.
And it's a $500 or less gun. So,
For sure.
And be honest with you, if somebody breaks in my car and I left it in the car, I'm not going to have a heart attack over losing it. I'm not going to be happy, but I'm not going to have a heart attack over it.
Gotcha.
Because, you know, if you have a $2,000 gun, you don't leave it in the glove box and it gets stolen. But I think it's just a matter of what suit. Everybody's different. Some people like double singles. Some people like all doubles.
Right.
It's just what you get used to. And I think if you're a regular shooter like yourself, you can adapt to whatever gun somebody hands you.
Right.
It just might take you one magazine to get used to it.
For sure. For sure. Well, I appreciate that. And what is your name again?
My name's Don.
Don. I'm Gershon.
What's your YouTube channel?
It's Gershon Tactics.
Oh,
Gershon Tactics.
spell it.
GERSHON TACTICS. Gershon Tactics.
I'll find it. I'll look at it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. And please drop some comments and let me know what I need to do to improve the channel. I started it early on when I first started shooting, kind of like, I would say, professionally or being conscious of safety. So I feel like I've evolved. I focus more on safety now and being more serious about my firearm training. When I first started doing videos, I was just doing them. But as I started getting my credentials and as an instructor and doing things, I started to take it more serious. So now I'm evolving to just being more conscious about the education of firearms. So I appreciate that.
Well, and I appreciate you doing the YouTubes, because one thing we need is more education for gun owners.
Yes, sir. I agree.
I'll go look at it. Thanks, Gershon.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Yes, sir.